Welcome to Marketing 411. With Paul Cookson, you will get the latest in ad strategies, marketing advice, and much, much more.
Marketing 411 with Paul Cookson.
Cookson here. I'm sitting with Nolan Wilson, who is an SEO writer, an expert SEO writer. Nolan, thanks for coming to see us today.
Thanks for having me, Paul.
So, Nolan, I wanted this episode of Marketing 411 to be about how and why written content helps to take your website to page one of Google searches, Bing searches, Yahoo searches, et cetera, et cetera. So let's share with our listeners some information on that.
Well, I mean, essentially, written content is, I guess you could say, for lack of better words, it's the food that Google consumes.
Right.
It's what Google wants. And it uses the content as a way to rank your page, rank your website.
Now, there's many factors into getting to page one. There's a lot of different things, how your meta tags are written, if they're done properly, how many letters are in them, et cetera, et cetera. But written content is a very, very, very important part of getting your site to page one. I just want to say that because a lot of people don't realize how important written content is.
Absolutely, and it often gets overlooked. One of the biggest mistakes people make is once they create their site, they put on the initial content for their home page, for their about page. They add a few other supplementary pages, but then they stop developing content, and then it becomes static.
So basically, they make their website and they think they're good to go, and they leave it.
Yeah, it's not a set it and forget it thing when it comes to content. Content is ever evolving, and that's why it's so important to have a content strategy. You need to have a plan to continuously create content all the time, and that's for a number of reasons. First of all, from an engagement perspective, you need to give people a reason to come to your site. You need to create articles, have tips, top 10 ways to do things. Any kind of thing that people would want to come to your site. You have to give them reason to come to their site.
So if you're a winter tire dealer, you may put some information on your website on a regular basis, reasons why winter tires are so much more effective than Four Seasons, which, by the way, I just saw an article in the paper the other day about that. But if you were giving helpful information, true information that's going to actually help a consumer make an educated decision, that's also part of a good strategy for that.
Absolutely. Like using the tire example, and there's a lot of different topics you can write when it comes to the tires. You can talk about specific cars. You can talk about the different styles. You can write reviews for the tires. You can give advice on how to look for a deal, when to shop for them. I mean, there's really endless possibilities when it comes to creating the content. You just gotta plan it out.
Tips for storing winter tires.
Absolutely.
So tell us more about, so obviously written content is important. Let's talk about timing for written content. What do you suggest is a smart strategy as far as, do you write every day? Do you write every second day? Do you write every 2 weeks? What's the smartest way to go?
The general rule is to be consistent. So, and obviously factors like your budget, your resources, and your time are going to play into how often you create content. But for example, let's say you had an unlimited budget. You'd want to create...
Which is nice.
Which would be nice.
I would like to have an unlimited budget. Can I have some of your budget?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
But in general, the more the better.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you don't want to create content just to create content. Just creating content that is of poor quality is not going to help because it's going to turn people off. And a lot of companies get into too caught up into creating just SEO related content that is of low value.
Right.
Just trying to...
When you read it, it's terrible.
Exactly. And that really doesn't do much for your company from an engagement perspective. You're not going to have people spending a lot of time on your site because they don't see the value in the content, and Google is not going to like those pages anyways.
It's almost like Twitter. One of my clients, we do a lot of work for celebrities, and there's a celebrity that we're working with where we built a website for this celebrity, and they were tweeting, but you wouldn't believe the tweets. Here's my breakfast.
Yeah.
Here's a milkshake that I'm about to drink. Here's like my dessert. Like, what?
Yeah,
Who? I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Brad Pitt. I really don't care. what you're eating for breakfast. Like, you know what? I don't care. And I had to say to the celebrity, well, like, you know what? If keep it engaging, keep it interesting, keep it exciting. Don't talk about what you had for breakfast.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is that social media has become such an important part of content. First of all, the content you create on your site is just the first step. Then you have to share it. So using tools like Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, all the different social media profiles is a great way to spread the word about your content. So you need to also, once your content is created, you need to figure out a strategy to also share it, because that's one way to drive traffic back to your site.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things we've done for different clients is we've actually added their Twitter to the homepage of their site. So they're actually are getting like a double whammy bonus, because when they tweet, it shows up on their website and it helps their SEO as well.
Absolutely, because there's a lot of people that were going to find your site through social media, or they're going to find it through Google. So if you have both intertwined, then you're going to be able to get the best of both worlds. If they find you on Twitter and you're tweeting about a blog post that you wrote, then they're going to go to your website to read it. And same with vice versa. If they go to your website and they see that you have a Twitter feed, they're going to go and become a follower on Twitter.
Now, one of the things that I want consumers out there, business owners, to know is that on average, Google crawls, and by crawling, that's just a fancy word for saying they visit your website. The average site is basically visited every 4 weeks by Google. And when they visit your site, if you've had somebody like Nolan writing for you and adding content to your website, you know, every day, every 2 days, every 4 days, whatever it is, like Nolan said, on a consistent basis, then what's going to happen is when Google crawls your site, they're going to analyze the site and they're going to say, okay, last time we visited the site was 4 weeks ago. And in the last 4 weeks, they've added 10,000 words of content. And that content has a keyword density, or these certain keywords are within those new 10,000 words. So if you're in the winter tire business, it may be Winter Tires Toronto. It may be a great place to buy winter tires, various different segments of that keyword. And Google says, oh, wow, there's all this really cool, new, fresh content. And if you were on page 10 or page 11 or page 3000, now all of a sudden they're going to re-rank your site. And when they re-rank your site, you could go from page 10 to page 5. I've seen clients of ours jump from page 20 to page 10 in a 4-week period. So that is one of the things that Google looks at, and it's really important.
Yeah, absolutely. The importance of being consistent cannot be understated. Google, and like you were saying, they crawl every 4 weeks, but if you're creating content on such a high high pace, they're going to come back more often, and they're going to come back and keep on re-indexing those pages and adding them to their index. So it's very important to be consistent.
You know what? Let's talk a little bit further about that, because when I said every 4 weeks, that's like just like the average run-of-the-mill site. But suits. I was going to say suits for some reason.
Sure, let's
Maybe
go
I should
suits.
go get a suit on right now. Sites like Kijiji, as an example, they're crawled every day. In fact, they're probably crawled twice a day, because those sites have a high PR ranking, and a PR ranking is basically how you determine the popularity of a site. So a PR 0 basically means that the site is not popular at all. Hardly anybody visits it. A PR 10 would be like a Kijiji type of a thing. So if you actually have a site that's PR 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, though that's a good. A PR 1, PR 2, PR 0, that's, you know, you're on your way, but you know, you're nowhere near where you should be. So the goal is to increase your PR ranking, and you can do that with written content. Nolan, what else? Is there any other thing that you think we should share with the listeners?
Yeah, when it comes to content, social sharing is become very important. So when you're posting your content on your social media sites, you want to create content that people are going to want to share. So as you're writing something, you know, think to yourself, is this of high value? Are people going to be interested? Are people going to share this with other users? Are they going to share it with their friends? Because the more that your content gets shared, the better it is for you from an SEO perspective, because if they're, you know, plus oneing your articles, if they're retweeting your articles, if they're sharing it on Facebook, it's saying to Google, hey, this content has some value, it's relevant, people are engaging with it. So obviously this website is an authoritative figure.
Question. I don't even know. It just came up in my head. Let's talk about SEO writing on YouTube. When you post a video onto your website, or when you post a video onto YouTube, any advice for writing the description on that and the header to the videos?
Absolutely. You cannot not overlook keywords on any sites. And that goes for your blog posts. Like there's tagging. You have tagging functionality within YouTube and within your blog. So make sure you use those tags and get those keywords in there, because they're relevant for searching within search engines, but they're also relevant when you're searching within YouTube and or other blog sites. Like if you're using WordPress as your blog and people are searching via WordPress to look for articles, then they're going to be searching those keywords. So you want to make sure that your blog is going to get ranked also on those profiles.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that. In fact, I want to go post a video right now on YouTube.
I think that's a good idea.
Can you help me write the description and the
Absolutely.
header tag?
Absolutely.
All right. So Nolan, listen, I know you're a busy guy. I really appreciate you coming to see us today. I can't think of anything else to tell the listeners for now. And how should we end off? Just that we're going to go post a video on YouTube?
We're going to post a video on YouTube, and it's going to have some good information. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to educate people, and that's why they're going to share it, and that's why Google's going to rank it.
Google's going to love it.
They'll love it.
I can't wait to do that. That's going to be great. Thank you very much for listening.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to be a guest on our show or just want to get in touch, visit us at marketing411.ca.